What is going on, guys? It is your role model of the IWC Gamers Goon here today with my Extreme Rules preview and predictions. I'm going to cut you all the crap. I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to hype it up. I'm going to get right in to the meat. I'm going to get right into the match that we're all confused about, the match that might actually induce horror tonight, or on Extreme Rules night on Sunday. It is going to be Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins in an eye for an eye match, where this match, in the rules, it states the match can only be won when one competitor extracts the eye out of the other competitor. Now, obviously, this is more than likely going to be a fake eyeball, I hope, because there's no way Vince is actually going to make these guys do that, unless Vince is really that sick and twisted, which I know he's sick and twisted, but I don't think he's that sick and twisted, hopefully not. But obviously, it's going to be a fake eyeball. The problem is you're going to have one of these guys sell it for a lot of their career. If Rey Mysterio loses an eye, he's not going to be able to use that eye. You can, I guess Rey Mysterio can just patch it up and he'll still be able to see because it's a mask. You wouldn't be able to see, still has an eye. Seth Rollins, he'll end up wearing an eye patch or something like that if he loses. The only problem I have with this match is it's just stupid. It's stupid. I don't want to see an eye for an eye match. I'm hoping that we go along the lines of Dominic just talking Rey Mysterio out of this match, and he's going to be like, you know what? I don't want to have a father without an eye, so how about we change the match to maybe just an Extreme Rules match? Maybe. Just please. Anything but an eye for an eye match, Dominic. Please convince Rey. But assuming that the eye for the eye thing is, I'm going to go off on a limb. I'm going to say Seth has to win this match because Rey's could sell losing an eyeball a lot easier than Seth can because he has the mask and he can just have the little covering thing where it shades where his eye is. He could still see. But Seth, on the other hand, he'd have to wear an eye patch. So that would be rather interesting for that match. But like I said, it might actually induce some horror, so be prepared to be grossed out a little bit. It might be something not a lot of people are going to enjoy. It might be something that you might want to turn your TV, switch the chase and turn it off. Maybe even go to the bathroom. I don't know how you're going to react to somebody acting as if they're going to pull out an eyeball. That doesn't really sound very intriguing to me as a wrestling fan. It'll be interesting to see what they do with the match, I guess, but I'm really not looking forward to the concept of the match. I'm a big fan of Seth Rollins, big fan of Rey Mysterio. I think they could have a really good match with each other. And it might be a really good match until we get to the part where the eyeball is going to be extracted from somebody. But it's going to be really weird. It's probably going to be unnerving. It's probably going to be one of those matches where you're going to cringe a lot. It's probably going to be one of those matches like, you know how last year we had Janela and Moxley, where a lot of the match was just, it just made you feel uncomfortable. It's probably going to be one of those matches where it's just going to feel uncomfortable. You're not going to be able to sit down without squirming in your chair. It's going to be really weird, I bet, between Mysterio and Rollins. Let's get into the Wyatt Swamp fight. We got Bray Wyatt using his mind games on Braun Strowman. However, this is not for the championship that Braun Strowman holds in the Universal Championship. It is actually for nothing at all. Nothing at all. So you know what that tells me? You know what this tells me? We had Wyatt fail to run the mind games at, Money in the Bank against Braun. And Braun ended up retaining his championship. You know what this tells me? This tells me that they don't care about Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt will win this match. They will. He will. There's no doubt about it. He's going to get his win back over Strowman, and then there's going to be another match at SummerSlam, and Bray Wyatt's going to lose that match. But this is what they tell me. You know what? We want Bray Wyatt to win. We know Bray Wyatt needs to win this match. But you know what? Let's not put the title on the line, even though he's facing the Universal Champion at a pay-per-view. So there's literally no reason for it not to have the title on the line. Let's just forget about Braun Strowman having the title. Let's make it a grudge match between the two. Bray Wyatt's winning this match. The only reason there's no Universal Championship on the line is because Bray Wyatt is winning this match, and they don't want the title on Bray Wyatt. I don't know why, but they need to get over it quick because Bray Wyatt deserves a whole lot better than what they treat him. The Fiend was the best character on WWE since SummerSlam last year until he lost the title which should never have even happened at the Saudi show. Shouldn't even have ever been a thought in somebody's head that should happen. Bill Goldberg did. Why? Why did he win? Why? This should have never been even a concept. He should have never even been a match in the first place. So that's all real disappointing with the way they've treated Bray Wyatt as of the last few months. Bray Wyatt obviously had a good WrestleMania with Cena. It's something that was fun. He had a good Firefly Funhouse segment. He had a good build into Money in the Bank. The only problem is there's no championship on the line for this show, so obviously he's going to win. That's the only thing I can really think of. I'm not going to sit here and tell you Braun Strowman's going to win. The mind games are going to get to Braun Strowman tonight, or on Extreme Rules night. It's going to get to him. There's no debate about it. It has to get to him, because there's no reason why the Universal Championship is not on the line if it is not planned for Bray Wyatt to win. Because if Braun Strowman was going to win this, they would just say, you know what, let's just throw the Universal Championship in there, just so we can have the headline, just so we can have a few more eyes, maybe be a little more intrigued to tune in. Bray Wyatt's winning this match. Next, we got the Raw Women's Championship match between Asuka and Sasha Banks. This is going to be a great match. Might be match of the night. Might even be match of the year for the women. Asuka, I think we all know how great she is. Don't believe me? Go watch her TakeOver Brooklyn matches against Ember Moon. If you don't know Sasha Banks' best match, it's at TakeOver Brooklyn as well, but it's against Bayley. TakeOver Brooklyn won my favorite women's match of all time with Sasha Banks. And we all know that these two women are capable of putting top 5 best women's matches of all time together. They've both done it. They're both in the top 5. Asuka with Ember Moon and Sasha with Bayley. Well, I'm wondering what these two can do together. Sasha Banks has proven that she can still wrestle to the level she wrestled back in 2015 when she was facing Bayley. She still proved that when she faced Io Shirai. And then after that, she faced Kairi Sane. And now she's facing Asuka. Some of the best wrestlers in the world. Not just women's wrestlers. Some of the best wrestlers in the world. And she's been facing them recently. So, for her to face Asuka here, I think it's going to be a really, really, really good match. I believe this is going to be the match of the night. I believe this is going to be the match we're going to be talking about for weeks to come. I think this is the match where we're going to be able to look back at. We're going to say, oh my gosh, that women's match was just so god dang good. I think this might be a top 10 women's match of all time. I'm not going to sit here and toot the horn and say it's going to be the best women's match of all time. I'm a firm believer in great matches having a great crowd behind them. The only exception to that was the Keith Lee match from last week, because I just sung the praises of that match. But this could be great. This could be, who knows, this could even be the best women's match of all time. It has the components. It has the best wrestlers in it. The best women's wrestlers in the world are in this match. Sasha Banks, I consider the best. Asuka, a lot of other people consider the best. I consider her third because I still believe that Bayley is the second best. For me, it goes Sasha, Bayley, Asuka, Io. So that's how it goes for me in terms of best in-ring work. But at the end of the night, I think that we are going to end up getting... this is so hard, actually. Because I could see two things happening. Asuka, she's fairly new to the championship. She just got it the night after Money in the Bank, after she won Money in the Bank. And she's been on a roll. She's been hot. She's been on fire. Everybody loves Asuka. But I'm not sure. Because I could see them going the route of Bayley and Banks both being champions. I could see it happening. Asuka, obviously walking in as a champion. But I have a different scenario I want to play out. And I'll actually put the Bayley match right after this and talking about it just so I can lay out that scenario for you. I think Sasha Banks is going to lose this match. I think she will. I think it'll be a very good match. I think the Green Mist will end up coming into play and will end up costing Sasha Banks for this match. And Asuka will retain her Raw Women's Championship against Sasha Banks after a great match. I think it might be 4 to 5 stars. It's that good of a match, I think. But let's talk about Bayley and Nikki Cross just so I can talk about the scenario I want to lay out. We got Bayley versus Nikki Cross. Obviously, Bayley walking in as the SmackDown Women's Champion. And Nikki Cross obviously as the number one contender after winning that opportunity back on SmackDown a few weeks ago. I'm going to be honest with you. This match isn't even a question. The Sasha match might be a little bit of a question because I think I could see a scenario where they're going to do that, but Asuka just got the title, so I don't see it happening. But Nikki Cross is not winning the SmackDown's Women's Championship. She might win the Tag Team Championships with Alexa eventually, or again, or it might happen, but I don't see it happening here, especially on Extreme Rules, especially without a build, especially without much investment in Nikki Cross. It's just a one-off for Nikki Cross. She's gonna lose the match. Bayley's gonna embarrass her. Bayley's gonna just get back at Nikki Cross. Really, just say, you know what? I'm better than you. I'm Bayley. I'm better than you. But that is gonna be where I'm talking about the scenario that I think is gonna pan out. I think Sasha Banks is gonna look at Bayley winning this match. I don't know if it's gonna be on Extreme Rules or after Extreme Rules or whatever. But I think this is where we start to see some tension between Banks and Bayley. I think Sasha's going to start getting jealous that she couldn't win the championship, but her best friend Bayley still holds the SmackDown Women's Championship. And she's going to be like, you know what? The competition on Raw was better than the one on SmackDown. The competition over there was just better. And I'm better than you. I should be a champion right now. I should be the Raw Women's Champion. I should be the SmackDown Women's Champion. Heck, I should just be a champion. Not just the tag team champion. I want to be a double champion. I want to be Sasha Banks 2 belts Banks. And you know I'm buying that shirt if that ever comes out. But she wants to be 2 belts Banks. She said that. And I expect her to stick to it. If she doesn't beat Asuka, I think that we're on a collision course from Bayley and Sasha at SummerSlam. Whether or not there's fans there or not, it doesn't matter. I think that's where we're heading. Because I think at the end of this, the goal is to get Banks to have 2 belts. Whether or not it's just a friendly match for the championship and she ends up winning and then Bayley turns on Sasha and then we get a great feud as Bayley as the heel rather than Sasha as the heel that we did have in NXT. Because they're still tag team champions, or whether we have the split of the tag team champions before they ever give the title to Sasha. I think at the end of this, Sasha is going to be holding the singles women's championship I think the end goal here is with Sasha with a women's championship, not the tag team women's championships, but one of the main women's championships on either Raw or SmackDown. So I don't see it happening against Asuka, but I can see the seeds being planted for it to happen with Bayley eventually at SummerSlam. So that's where I'm thinking that's going to head. Next, let's get into the WWE United States Championship match. We have Apollo Crews going against the self-proclaimed United States Champion MVP. Obviously, I'm going to assume Bobby Lashley's probably going to be in MVP's corner. Makes sense. Let me cut the chase right now. Apollo Crews is not going to lose this match. And if he does, I'm going to be mad. MVP in 2020 does not need to be the United States Champion. He doesn't. Apollo Crews has been his best he's ever been. And yes, I'm saying ever been. He was never this great in NXT. He never really got the time to shine in NXT before they immediately skyrocketed him to main roster because of how athletic the guy was. They never really let him develop that character, and he never really developed the character on main roster either. But as of late, as of the past 2 to 3 months, this guy has been the hottest he's ever been on his career. He's just been hitting everything, hitting his strides. The only problem I got with Apollo Crews is, once again, I wanted those big moments with the fans. And he didn't get his moment with the fans, but he's still the United States Champion. I can't express how much I'm a fan of Apollo Crews. I've been saying it for years that he's one of the better in-ring workers. The only problem with him is they never let him develop a character. And he still really doesn't even have a character. He's just a good guy, Apollo Crews. Just get him by with his ring work, which is acceptable. I still want to see a little bit of a character added to Apollo, but at the end of the day, I think Apollo Crews he needs to hold that championship for much longer, just because of how good he is. Just how good he is. He's not even a character or anything, but just because he deserves it for all the work he puts in to be that good in the ring. And definitely doesn't need to lose it to a part-timer like MVP or a final ride guy like MVP, where MVP's not going to be around for the next 4 or 5 years, where Apollo could easily be around for the next 10. I think he used this as an opportunity to build Apollo up, give him a credible name to beat like MVP. Obviously, he took the title off Andrade, but I think adding a guy like MVP to his resume is actually a big stepping stone for Apollo Crews to just catapult this into a very good United States Championship title run. I don't know if I can ever tell you that it's going to be a great one, just because to have a great title run, you kind of need one of those great characters behind it, and I don't know if Apollo Crews will ever have that, but I want to see Apollo Crews win this match in specific. I want to see him go on past SummerSlam with this United States Championship. And let's get into the final match of the night. Let's get in for the WWE Championship match. We got a match that does not have a stipulation as of yet, but there will be one. We have Drew McIntyre, the champion, the WWE champion, defending his championship against his former tag team partner, Dolph Ziggler. I don't know what this stipulation is going to be. I'm going to go off on a limb, and I'm going to assume that this stipulation is probably going to be something along the lines of maybe, I could say maybe like a 30-minute Iron Man match here, just because Dolph Ziggler knows he can out-cardio Drew McIntyre just because of how great he is with his cardio. I could see something like that. I could see something, maybe an Extreme Rules match, just so Dolph Ziggler knows he can use the cheap tactics, maybe use a chair here or there. I could see it being a match that maybe he puts a ladder match because he knows he can climb the ladder faster. I don't really know, but I expect this match definitely to have an advantage towards Ziggler. Maybe it's a 2-on-1 handicap. Maybe it's a special guest referee. I don't know, but I expect Ziggler to definitely take advantage of this opportunity to pick the stipulation. I expect him to make it so one-sided that everybody's going to be sitting there as the match is announced to be like, well, how do you even get Drew McIntyre to win without making Ziggler look bad? But at the end, Ziggler's still going to lose. I think they're going to make Ziggler look bad. And they're going to have it so favored to one side where it's like there's literally like a 0.01 chance that he loses, and then they find a way to have him lose. I think that's going to be the scenario there between them. So I'm taking Drew McIntyre. Anyways, I'm going to get on out of here. As always, make sure you guys go follow the Twitter at GamersGoonYT over there to stay up to date with what I am doing, my reactions to the shows each and every week. Over on Instagram, it is thegoongameryt. I definitely do use the Twitter more, so if you want to keep up to date, go follow the Twitter first. And also, if you guys haven't seen already, this is coming out Saturday because this is the Extreme Rules video. I'm actually filming this on Wednesday because I have a busy week ahead because I do have graduation on Saturday. Probably at the time you're actually seeing this recording. But busy week ahead. Tonight, as of the day you're watching this, on Saturday night, I'm going to be watching Slammiversary, whether I'm watching it live or after the show. I don't know yet because there still might be family for my graduation in my house. So I'll definitely be watching it sometime Saturday. I don't know if I'll be watching it live though. But I already did yesterday. I put out my preview and predictions for that. As the time you're seeing this, it would have been out yesterday. And then tomorrow, I'm going to be putting out the review for that show. Then obviously you're seeing this on Saturday, the day before Extreme Rules. I will also be putting out my Extreme Rules review after Extreme Rules, whether that's on Monday morning or Sunday night. I don't know. Go follow the Twitter. I will announce during the show for Extreme Rules whether or not I feel up to it, because some of these times I'm excited to come out here and talk about, and some of the times I gotta collect my thoughts. I don't really know how I'm gonna feel on that specific night yet, just because there's a lot going around Extreme Rules Horror Show, man. But definitely stick up to date on the Twitter if you want to know what my plans are. Obviously, we had Fight for the Fallen. Those preview and predictions and the review are already up on the channel. So make sure you guys, if you guys are interested in AEW or Slammiversary, make sure you guys go see all that. If you're just a WWE guy, welcome to the channel. We will be reviewing Extreme Rules after the show eventually. Whether it's on Monday or Sunday night, it doesn't matter. But we will be doing that. Anyways, I'm going to get on out of here. I'm going to see you guys in the next one, which will be the review for Extreme Rules Horror Show. And as of right now, this is your boy Gamers Goon, your role model, logging off. I'll see you in the next video.